In today's Leeds news, new deals for Rodon and Bogle. Wrexham register interest in Nmecha. Leeds' next 3 targets. Fan tribute before Brentford. Rumour mill story on Darío Osorio. Thursday, the 20th of August, you're here at the Leeds View, with your daily Leeds United news. We do these from a Monday till a Friday, and we also do a transfer wrap-up at the weekend. We'll have the return of the match view and instant match reactions this weekend, as well as a watch-along over on YouTube. We're part of the Talk Sports Fan Podcasting Network, and if you want to support the channel, you can follow us on all the audio platforms, give us a channel rating, or subscribe and like the video on YouTube. There's a bit of stuff to talk about this morning. The new Leeds United third kit, the grey-black kit, looks like it's going to be launched tomorrow. We will have links down below for anyone who's interested in buying that. If you want to support us, you can do so that way as well. There'll be links to the official Leeds United store and our partnership with Fanatics, so you can check that out if you want to. The Other View, which is our Opposition View podcast, will be available tonight on audio-only platforms. That'll go out about 7:30 tonight, so if you want to check that out and get a bit of a deeper look into what Nottingham Forest have done this summer and how they're going to shape up. Rich has joined us from 1865's podcast, A View from the Forest. You can check that out. It'll give you a little bit of an insight into what Leeds could be facing, especially on the first game of the season. And we don't necessarily know what they're going to do and haven't been watching their pre-season campaign. And there's a couple of surprises in there for players that could be popping up in slightly unusual positions as Glasner gets ready for his first game. And Leeds obviously will be different as well. But anyway, a bit of stuff to talk about today. We'll start off with some contract renewals. So Leeds have tied down 2 key figures at the club in the past 48 hours. Joe Rodon is the first up, and he has signed an extension to his deal to keep him at Ellen Road until 2030. Rodon had 2 years left on his existing deal, but has now signed the extension that locks him down until 2030. And a massive part of Daniel Farke's defence over the last couple of years. One of my favourite players in the club, and I'm delighted to see that he'll be sticking around with Leeds for 4 more years. He spoke about signing the deal to LUTV, and he said the following: "I'm delighted. I think I've said since day one, since I've come into the club, everyone in the club has been absolutely brilliant with me, and I have loved it. So to extend my time here, just looking forward to a successful future. For me, I think the direction that we have come in and the kind of journey that I have been on since I have arrived here, and the ambition and the project that is happening here, it was a no-brainer. So for the club to believe in me and give me this opportunity, I am so grateful." Another very level-headed person in the Leeds United dressing room. I think he's been one of the most important players in that Leeds United squad for the last couple of years. I think he's had a very good pre-season as well. But Rodon says that he's at the happiest moment in his career right now. He also talked about the fact that he feels like Leeds is a second home, echoing the sentiments of Ethan Ampadu. And he also said that he loves the connection that he has with the fans, which is really, really strong. And it's great to see. I think he's a hugely important player for Leeds, and I'm delighted to see him staying at the club. Second one up is Jayden Bogle. So this morning, Leeds followed up the extension for Rodon with an extension also for Jayden Bogle, and he extends until 2030 as well. Bogle's existing deal was also due to expire in 2028, and Leeds have moved to lock him down. Today, Bogle has been involved in 84 games under Daniel Farke. That's the most amount of games that he has played under any single individual manager over the course of his career. And he's been a vital part to Leeds United's defence as well as the attack in the last 2 seasons specifically. We were told when he arrived from Sheffield United that he was washed and he couldn't defend, and he was very unlucky, in my opinion, not to end up with the World Cup with England. Leeds have had a very nice statement put out about Bogle as well. They've praised his professionalism, they've praised his versatility, and they've referred to him as an almost ever-present in Daniel Farke's side. I think we can just refer to him as an ever-present in Daniel Farke's side, because when he's fit and available, he's in that team every single game. He's had a really good time at Leeds. I mean, he's evolved over the last couple of years as well. He's gone from being an out-and-out fullback in a 4-man defence to being one of Leeds' best and most effective attacking options on that right-hand side since they've moved to a back 3. I'm really excited to see how he's going to adapt to this season's variation of the formation, and the way Leeds are now starting to attack down that right-hand side. I think he'll get plenty more opportunities. He's got 8 goals and 9 assists in his time at Leeds United. He kept 32 clean sheets also in the defence. So he's a massively important part of Daniel Farke's side. And Farke even tried him out as in one of those 2 number 10 roles behind Dominic Calvert-Lewin last season. Safe to say mixed results on that one. But yeah, another vital part of the defence to get locked down. There's still A couple of other players to discuss in terms of contracts. Brendan Aronson is believed to be offered a new deal at the club. He's had a very solid pre-season as well. No information on whether that's been signed or not yet, but you would imagine Leeds are drip feeding these over the next couple of days. Lukas Nmecha, we'll talk about him in a bit more detail, but he's in the final year of his contract. And Ilya Groove, who's currently still out injured, he's in the final year of his deal as well. So a couple more to get done at least. Let's move on. So let's talk about Lukas Nmecha then, and a genuine double take of a story that came out late last night. And for me, this was a bit of an eye-catching one. In my initial thoughts where this is nonsense, I then had to read it into a bit more detail and realise, well, hang on a sec, there's actually something in this. Wrexham are reportedly weighing up an ambitious move for Leeds United forward Lukas Nmecha on the promise of being their number one striker and one of their main players next year as they try and build a squad ready to push into the Premier League. And looking at what they're trying to do this summer, they've definitely got eyes on another promotion. The detail on this one is where, for me, it becomes eye-catching because this traces all the way back to Simon Jones in the Daily Mail, who's got a very good track record and a very credible journalist. And in his report, he said this: Wrexham see Nmecha as a shock target ahead of next Tuesday's deadline and would view landing him as a genuine statement of intent given his Premier League pedigree. Now, the transfer window closes Tuesday week, 2nd of September, I think it is. So, yeah, 2 more Tuesdays before that does actually close. But the fee that's been mentioned, or what Wrexham value Lukas Nmecha at, is about £10 million. And if you take a step back from this and not look at it as a Leeds United fan and just look at the maths or the finances on this, Lukas Nmecha cost Leeds nothing. He's in the final year of his contract. So £10 million would be pure SCR profit for Leeds United and could go a long way towards helping them. However, and there's a massive however to this, he got 10 G&A last season in his first year for Leeds United. And when you looked at his goals per minute, Nmecha had the best goals per minute of any player in the Premier League last season. Now, the fact that Leeds have allowed Joe Pirou to move away from the club would suggest, or at least you would imagine, that the club have got somebody lined up and ready to come in as a replacement. Leeds haven't allowed players to go unless someone's been ready to come in this summer. It's very quiet around the place, which again usually means they're about to do something. And even if Leeds were to get £10 million for Lukas Nmecha, for me, it would be a crazy decision to let him go this close to the start of the season, given the relationship he's got with the players around him, given how comfortable he looks in the Leeds United squad. And for me, he is another very serviceable and impactful player for Leeds United. Nmecha may not be the best hold-up striker in the world. He's definitely not, but he's a finisher, and he needs very few opportunities around the box to get a goal. We've even seen it in pre-season where he can just get a goal out of absolutely nothing. So for me, I would be keeping him around the place. Now, there are some reports suggesting that Lukas Nmecha has an option in his contract for a further year. Now, not everyone is reporting that, but if that is the case, then there's probably no risk of him moving away from the club unless Leeds can see somebody else coming in. But I don't see you getting a player that has delivered what Nmecha has delivered and has the pre-season that he's had and the experience that he's got now at this stage for 10 million quid or less. So I don't see that one happening. The source on this is very credible, as I say, Simon Jones. So that means that there's at very least some fire to the smoke around this one. But this could be a couple of days old, and Leeds could likely dismiss this in the next couple of days. I think it'd be mad to let him go at this moment in time, but we'll have to wait and see. As I say, it is incredibly quiet around the place right now, but we'll move on. So as I say, it's generally fairly quiet around the club in terms of who Leeds might be lining up. We've gotten to the point where even the rumour mill stuff has got very, very thin on the ground, and it's deathly quiet, which means Leeds are probably very busy putting the final touches to a couple of deals. At least we should all hope so. But there are reports out today that say Leeds are still moving ahead in the transfer window. They're far from done just yet. And we all know, and we probably all agree, that Leeds need left back cover, goalkeeper cover, possibly a 10, definitely a striker before they get done with their business this summer. Now, according to reports today, Leeds are very much still planning to recruit a left back cover, a striker, and a goalkeeper cover. And they're the three that they're looking at least right now. On the left back situation, Jayden Bogle, who's had a very decent pre-season for Leeds United, he is still seen as a young player at the club, and any chance of first team regular football is probably seen as a little bit premature. Might see him in a couple of the cups. He needs to go out and play some senior level football, having only played academy football to date, so maybe a loan for him would be a strong one. And Leeds are looking at bringing in left back cover, although it is quiet in terms of names. Daniel Farke is also said to want genuine competition for Dominic Calvert-Lewin and Lukas Nmecha this season in order to keep them on their toes. So we're not looking at just bringing in a number who can fill a spot on the bench. We're looking at someone who can actually come in and make an impact off the bench, or even threaten both of those players' positions within the squad. Liam Delap is the name that keeps floating around, although the price tag on him means it's very unlikely. 35 to 45 million pounds. Chelsea have said he can go. Given what he's done in the last year, that price tag is incredibly inflated. It's likely to have gone down. Leeds won't be interested in making a move for him at that price. Anyway, if it comes down, you never know. Or there's a loan, again, you never know. On the goalkeeper front, one of the long-term targets has been Jacob Zetterstrom of Derby. He is still believed to be on Leeds United's shortlist. Monza, though, have made a £2 million bid for him. So that might, at the very least, kick Leeds into action if they are thinking about bringing Zetterstrom into the club. He had a decent World Cup for Sweden as well. However, there is some form of a contract clause or something in his deal that might make this deal far more difficult for Leeds to get done. Michael Zetterer, as we talked about him earlier in the week, at Frankfurt, is still labelled as a player that they are interested in, but similar to Liam Delap, the price tag is way too high and Leeds won't be paying 20 million quid for a backup goalkeeper. So right now, not a huge amount of names being linked with Leeds, but the report coming out of the club is that Leeds still plan to get 3 deals done between now and Tuesday week's transfer deadline. So they've got a busy couple of days ahead, and I think next week could be very, very busy. And that's just the 3 that they said that they're definitely going to do. We know Parag Marathe is keeping a few shillings in his back pocket to see if a special player becomes available and they need to make a move for that one. But we'll see. So Leeds United's game against Brentford will be our first home game of the season on Sunday the 30th of August. And Leeds will continue the tradition of paying tribute to fans who have passed away within the last 12 months before kickoff in their first home game. If you have a loved one who's passed away in the last 12 months and you want to have their name added to that list, you can go to leedsunited.com. There's a small form in there that you need to fill out to have that submitted. And then you need to have them in by Wednesday, the 26th of August, for that to be on the list on the day. There'll be a minute applause before kickoff in the game against Brentford to just remember everyone who has passed away in the last 12 months. Move on. Right, we're jumping back into rumour mill stuff here, and we're very much in the speculative link territory. This isn't pinch assault territory. This is back in the truck assault up right now. But we'll give you the detail and you can have a think about it. This one's been floating around for a couple of days, but not from anybody majorly credible. It's been picked up by a Danish outlet now. I've done a bit of digging on it, and we'll give you the details and you can decide yourself what you think about this one. Danish outlet Campo have reported that Leeds United are amongst a cluster of clubs who are believed to be interested in FC Midtjylland's winger Darío Osorio. But there is a very big credibility caveat to this one as well. Campo say that Midtjylland have received several specific inquiries about the 22-year-old, and they have come from Liverpool, Leeds United and Everton on this. Osorio has spent 3 years at Danish club. He has league honours. He has cup honours while he's been there. And here's the caveats on this. He's primarily a right-sided player, despite the fact that he is left-footed. He's operated at right wing-back for them and right wing. He is the kind of player that likes to come in off the right-hand side onto his left foot. So maybe he's a potential right-back cover for Leeds United, or right-wing option cover, but very much in the same area as Harry Wilson. Left footer means he could probably do a job on the left-hand side, but if you look at his heat maps over the last 2 years, he's barely ever played on the left-hand side. So it seems unlikely to me. The wider context on this one is that Leeds have been linked with an absolute ton of FC Midtjylland players over the course of this summer. Now, it feels to me that Danish outlets are starting to just twig onto the add Leeds name to a report to get clicks that a lot of other outlets around Europe tend to do. And again, Liverpool and Everton also been named on this as well. There's also a price tag of £17 million being thrown around, which was a huge amount of money for a 22-year-old playing in Denmark. So for me, this one seems incredibly unlikely. Decent numbers though from him. 6 goals and 6 assists last season. So far in their 3 games this season, he's got 2 assists. So you never know. But yeah, not exactly what Leeds United are looking for, unless they feel they can adapt the player. But yeah, a lot of money for a young player coming in from Denmark. We'll see. Anyway, folks, that'll be it for me today. You can check out the other review, which will be out tonight on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and anywhere you get your audio feeds. And we'll have the watch along on Saturday, as well as the instant match reaction straight afterwards. And then we'll have all of our normal stuff. Sunday sessions back from members on Sunday morning as well. So we're back at it. Full steam ahead. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your day. I'll talk to you soon. See you later. Bye.